It's your first season with the club. How much have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Really good. Obviously, it's my first time in full-time management, so it's not that it's took me a time to sort of get into it, but everything's new. You're learning on the job every day, and I feel like I've got myself to a good point now where I understand what I expect of the team, what I expect of my staff, and what the dedication that I need to put in to be successful. So yeah, it's been a good start, and long may it continue.
How is that transition to full time? Sort of having more time to sort of focus on your football, put a plan together. Does it add a bit more pressure? But of course, more time on football is always good.
Yeah, like, I have to say, like it's been a bit of a culture shock because I've always had a normal job, and then I used to play obviously part time football in the evenings and playing a Saturday. So I've always just been always just focused that way. But to come into this and where you're solely focused on one thing, it's been really good. Obviously, as I said, learning on the job is a massive thing, but it's the time in the grass is brilliant. I definitely feel like since as a coach, when I come in June to where I am now, I've developed a lot, and that's through obviously the experience of being on the grass every day, and then obviously do me A level as well. I just feel like I've really personally kicked on. I feel like I've become more confident in my own ability and more detailed in my session. And then obviously with the chairman we have is work ethic. You can't help but admire it, because I sometimes come in at 7:30 in the morning, and he's leaving the stadium because he's been in since 6. So it's he definitely gives you the work ethic, and yeah, it's trying to put that into place on the pitch now with the lads.
Things have gone as you would have hoped. Obviously, you're in the playoffs at the moment. You'll be looking further up and trying to push further up. I know in the summer when Blackpool played in pre-season, you had to sub yourself on because you didn't have enough players. So you've certainly picked things up quickly.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride so far. I've tried not to get ahead of myself. I've tried to just stay humble and keep working hard. But then when we do have moments like we've had this season, it's enjoying them as well, because you've got to enjoy them moments, because in football you never know how long it's going to last. So it's staying humble, but also picking the moments when you can sort of relax and enjoy. But my thing now is that I'm happy with what we've done, but how can we be better? How can I push the lads? How can I drive the standards? How can I push them to be better individuals, better players, and how can I challenge myself? It's like yesterday, one of my two good mates are at Barney, Dean Brennan and Connor Smith, the assistant, and I spoke to them yesterday regarding how they do analysis, and I had a great conversation with Connor, about half an hour long, just learning from him. So I'm always trying to improve myself, and then if I can improve the analysis with the lads, it's only going to make them better, yeah. So it's just trying to push and challenge each other every day.
When you look at the table, do you sort of look upwards and think about closing that gap, or do you look below yourselves thinking we have to make sure we're solid in where we are?
We just focus on the next game. I know it's very hard to say, oh, you do that, but everybody looks at the league table. There's no point in lying. When as soon as your match is over, everybody's go on their phone. How did they do? How did they do? Where are we? Everybody does it. There's no like we can say we don't, but we do. But we look at the results, see how they go. If they're good, great. If they're not good, so be it. But we just go, right, who's our next match? That's the one we need to focus on. We don't try to think too far ahead, but just got to enjoy. We're only 7 months into it now. We seem to have got the lads on the pitch the way we want them. It's happened probably quicker than most people would have expected. Some people might not have expected us to do as well as we did at all. But yeah, we're 7 months into it, and we're changing. We're trying to change the culture, trying to change little things bit by bit. And at the moment, it's going in the right direction, but there's still a load more to do.
Yeah, how much are you enjoying embracing life at this club, but also introducing your own ideas and obviously creating your own culture?
Yeah, really enjoying that. I've always been a person that I try to surround myself with good people. And the staff that I brought in, I've been very fortunate enough that I've played with them or against them or worked with them, so I knew I was going to have good people around me. And then the staff that are here, from the stadium staff to our head of media, they're just good, honest people, and I enjoy working with them on a daily basis. And even with the chairman, I have a great relationship with him. I speak to him 2 or 3 times a week. Danny Rowe, who's our chief recruitment, I speak to him 2 or 3 times a day. So my relationship with people at the club has been really good, and I feel like the academy and the women's team, because they're doing so well, everybody seems to be buying into this one club. The women obviously changing their badge to match ours is a perfect way of going moving forward, that we're all under one umbrella, all under the same roof. And yeah, it's going really well at the moment, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing on the pitch and everything behind the scenes goes well, hopefully the fans and everybody else will enjoy.
Yeah, you touched on the women's team. I know obviously you and Danny have a close relationship as the coaches of respective teams. How important is that to make sure everyone does feel as one, and that you all represent Fylde, whether you're man or woman?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to. They should already feel that they should be feel a part of this club, regardless if it's male or female. They should always feel a part of it, and whether you work on reception, whether you're working in the club shop, or whether you're playing in the first team, you should feel like you're a part of this club, because you are. Everybody chips in, everybody does a little bit, and everybody plays a part in what we're trying to achieve. And that's why I always make sure we treat everybody with respect, whether it's people who's working on match days or lads in the first team. I treat everybody the same. I always make sure that I always try to treat people how I want to be treated. And yeah, we're trying to build that culture into the ground, into the club. And yeah, it's going well at the moment, but still, as I said, there's still a lot more I'd like to do and a lot more I want to achieve.
Obviously coming under the same badge next season, just how much does that sort of mean to have like that same identity?
Yeah, it means a lot. Like for me, to be able to show the girls how much the club is supporting them, and for the girls to even see how much they're supported by the football club, it's massive. So it makes a big difference for them in terms of, they feel even more a part of the club than what they already do. I mean, they're very well looked after within the club, but to play wearing the same shirt with the same badge, it means a whole lot more.
Yeah, I suppose obviously you can get all the backing, you can be told, and see the backing, but that visual representation that you are just part of one, it's a whole new level, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people say it, don't they? If you don't talk it, do it, and I think we're trying to show that we're trying to do the right things and make the girls feel really involved in the football club, and look, they are, and people really care about them here at the football club. So it's really important that we can show that they are, not just by talking about it and saying it, we actually doing it as well.
Obviously you jumped onto this project in the summer. Just how much have you enjoyed it, and how much it delivered what you'd hoped?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. Really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of hard work. Not just from me, but from everyone involved within the football club and the players as well. And to grow the club to where we're currently at now it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And look, for me, my aim was to be the biggest club on the Fylde coast on the women's side, and I think that we've achieved that. And look, now we've achieved it. We've now got to stay there, and we've got to continue to grow and continue to get better all the time. And we don't want to stand still. We want to keep being progressive and keep trying to improve and add more teams to the club, move further up the leagues, and really pull ourselves away from all the other clubs on the Fylde coast.
Obviously you're flying in your league at the moment. Just what is the long-term aim? Where do you sort of see this club going over the next few years?
The long-term aim and goals are to be a championship club, and I think it's doable. It's something that we can achieve. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's something we've got to work towards, and there's things we have to do on and off the pitch to get ourselves there, and there's things we still need to put in place, but there's also improvements that we need to make on the pitch to make sure we can keep moving up through the leagues. And I think that's got to be the long-term aim of the football club, and it is, and that's the aim of the owner, and it's my aims, and I know it's the current group of girls' aims, and it's continually grow that, and have an academy that develops players and brings them into our first team, not just having an academy for the sake of having it. It's actually trying to find players within our academy that can come and push players in the first team for a position, or replace them, or push them out. And that's probably we've got a couple of aims in terms of what we want to achieve and how we want things to be done. And I think we're only on the first step of the ladder really in terms of trying to do that, and it's now we've got to continue to do that and grow as we go along.
You mentioned the academy. How important is it to have a pathway where young players can start and just see where they can end up in the first team? Yeah,
definitely. I think that it's hard. Academies are hard. I think the hard part of academy is we all want to have that progression and pathway for kids, but kids develop differently over periods of time and over the years. And what we want is to have a certain number per season of players making it first team appearances or moving up through our age groups within our academy. You're never going to get everyone. You're never going to get 11 players come through every season. It's near enough impossible. But like, can we add 3, 4, 5, 6 girls in and around the first team, doing well, hopefully making first team debuts, hopefully making them, giving themselves a place in the team, and continue to grow. And the academy is always going to be really important to us as a football club, because we haven't got the biggest catchment areas, so we've got to develop players in the right way. And if we can get, at the moment, we'll probably have 2 or 3 this year that will, towards the end of the season, make their first team debuts. If we've got 2 or 3 this year, can we have the same sort of number next year, and then can we continue to have that sort of number every season of players coming through?
And just how important is it, for women's football to have, grassroots growing and growing and growing throughout the levels, having different layers for teams like yourselves, to make sure that the quality is there beyond the WSL?
Yeah, look, I think I have probably some opinions on it that people won't like, and there's things that for me it's like, I think the tier we're in now is like a regional league, which is still kind of classed as grassroots from an FA point of view, which I think is a little bit disrespectful for the clubs that are in it, because I think there's some good clubs in it that are trying to progress, trying to develop, and that grassroots mentality holds the girls back, like the teams back, the clubs back, because clubs don't want to invest in a grassroots level team. They want to invest in a team that's, playing at an elite level. And I think the teams that are in, especially in our division, like, it's a strong division. It's, and there's a lot of teams in it that really want to progress and do well and are putting right infrastructures in place for their clubs. So like, I don't see it as a grassroots league because of the things that clubs are trying to do within it, but I don't like that it's labelled as one, and I don't think it should be. I think because the next steps for us, you're going into the Women's National League, like, it's a massive jump. So like, the infrastructures should be supported at that level by the FA within the clubs to help them prepare for going into the Women's National League. The Women's National League are doing a lot of work to try and help and support clubs, but like, there's still so much that can be done at the regional level, because too many things are missed and too many things are not done properly, and it affects clubs then who are trying to develop and trying to, make their women's game better. But how do they do that when it's not done properly from the people outside of it?
Yeah, do you think there is just too much leaving things to trickle down naturally rather than actually delving in there and looking at things themselves?
I think, look, from a financial aspect, it's hard because it's going to take time to trickle down to them levels, and it's good. But I think it's having the correct people in place that, don't have a grassroots mentality of how you run and organise your leagues, but then at the same time, like, people are doing it a lot volunteers, and they're doing things to, help and support the women's game. So I'm not kind of having a go off anyone at any stage. I'm just trying to say, like, to really develop it and take it to the next level, the regional leagues that are filtering into the Women's National League probably need to have a more professional outlook to how they run, to help support the clubs and to help grow the game. Because I look at our league, we've got 5 or 6 clubs within that are really trying to push and do things right, but then you've got 3 or 4 that are not, and it's like, well, why? They should probably be in it when you've got a club like, say, that are closer to us that really want to push on, that are in the league below us, that like allow them to come up and like maybe have more parameters around acceptance of teams into leagues, and they have to have certain things in place to be able to, progress and develop the leagues, instead of it just being a case of if you win the league you go up, and then they come up and then it's so much harder in tier 5, and they're probably playing against teams that are a lot more organised and financial support from their football clubs, and they don't have that because they kind of are a grassroots team that don't really have a first team, and then it kind of, you're having too high scorelines in games. Like, scorelines shouldn't be 9-0, they shouldn't be 5 and 6, they should be a lot closer at 2s and 3-0 max really. But I think that's going to take time to get to that, and it's going to be a lot of investment from the FA to get to that stage.
Just finally, I want to ask you about your opposite number, Craig, obviously in charge of the men's team. I know you've got quite a close relationship and it takes an interest. So how positive is that you can work together? Yeah,
no, look, I know we mock each other about certain things and we have a good laugh and we get on, and I think to have his support with things we're trying to do, and have help asking for advice on stuff for himself as well, I think it's brilliant. It's like makes such a big difference to, we're all kind of working as one club, and it's not, you know, oh, they're over there and you're over here and you're in different buildings, you're in the same offices, you're in the same place, you've got the same sort of facilities, and you've got the same equipment that you use every weekend, every training session, and it's been brilliant to have that support from him and to be able to really, you know, kick on ourselves to help us get better. But the relationship he has with the team and the players is massive, because, you know, he knows all of them, knows them by name, talks to them, has a bit of banter with them, you know, mocks them about some of their finishing, like one of the players anyway, one of our receptionists, but he has a good laugh with them, and the girls love it, and like then it's nice for them to know that he cares and he wants to see them do well, so it's massively important for me.